Hello and welcome to revision classes on television. Today, we will be having a session in mathematics. Our guide is Sarumo Tirimisiyu Olalekon, and our topic today is Arithmetic of Finance.
Arithmetic of Finance is the application of mathematical method to financial problem. So we're talking of the arithmetic of finance. That means we have some subtopic under the arithmetic of finance. So we have subtopic like simple interest, compound interest, annuity, cost price and selling price. Then we have inflation and depreciation. Now let's start from simple interest. When we are talking of simple interest, we have interest, simple interest to be equal to P/R/T all over 100, whereby P simply means the principal. That simply means the capital, the money that you use for the establishment of your business. Then R simply means rate, and T simply means time. And this time, in this case, is in terms of year. For example, if you are given a month, it must be converted to year. If you are given an hour, it must be converted to year. So we now have our simple interest to be equal to PRT all over 100. Then we have amount. This amount simply means amount of simple interest. And the formula for the amount of the simple interest is equal to principal plus interest. So this is all the formula on simple interest. Now, after simple interest, we have what's known as compound interest. Compound. We have compound interest. And for the compound interest, the first thing is to find the amount of compound interest. And the formula for the amount of the compound interest, unlike this, the formula is amount is equal to principal into bracket 1 plus R raised to power n. So this is formula for amount of compound interest. Now, before we proceed, now this one simply means the principal, like the former one. Now, but this one is amount of the compound interest, whereby our compound interest is equal to amount of the compound interest minus the principal. Now, the problem now is how to determine our rate here. The rate here is in terms of the fraction. For example, in terms of the number, if you are given rate of 20% here, then your capital R will be equal to 20. Now, but in case of this, reverse is the case. This one simply means in terms of a decimal. Now, let's look at this and correspond it to the value of our n. For example, now, let's say we are given rates of 20% per annum for 3 years. How to determine our n and our r here? Then compare with it with rates of 20% half yearly for 3 years. So let's say here we have our R and our n. Our R and our n to be something. Now the next one, if you are given rates of 20% quarterly for 3 years, then you are still looking for your R and your n. Now the last but not the least, if you are given rate of 20% monthly for 3 years. Now, how to determine our R? Now, as I've said, the R must be in terms of a decimal. Now, look at this, 20% in terms of a decimal simply means 20 over 100. So, which is equal to 0.2. Now, for this one we have our R to be equal to 0.2. But we are given per annum. That is, that interest is per annum. Once in a year per annum. That is divided by 2. Now, our N here simply means the number of the payment, the number of time or the payment of our interest. Now, we are paying it once per annum for 3 years. That is, our N here is to be equal to 3 per annum. That is once per year for 3 years. That is 3 times 1. So we is equal to 3. So our N here is 3. Now, let's go to the second one. 20% half yearly. That is, this one has to be converted to a decimal, which is 0.2. Is 0.2. Now, but for half yearly, that is twice per year. So that means that divided by 2. Divided by 2. So our N, that which is 0.1. Then our N here now simply means now for 3 years, but twice per year for 3 years. So that's what simply means twice per year for 3 years. Simply means 2 times 3. 2 times 3, which is equal to 6. Now, the next one, our R as well is still the same as 0.2 because it's 20%. Now, quarterly. Quarterly simply means 4 times per year. That's divided by 4. Whereby our N now is now be equal to 4 times per year for 3 years. So that's one simply means 4 times 3, which is equal to 12. And the last but not the least here simply means our R here simply means 0.2 divided by monthly. That is 12 times per year divided by 12. So whereby our N will now be equal to 12 times per year for 3 years, which simply means 12 multiplied by 3, which is equal to 36. So this is how to find the value of your R and N when you're talking in terms of a compound interest. And this formula for compound interest is one of the basic formula for all the formula that has to do with arithmetic of finance. Now, for example, now, we are talking of annuity. So, to get the formula for annuity, all what you need to do is to modify this formula. So, the formula amount of annuity is equal to this formula, that is, we have formula 1 plus R raised to power N. This is formula. So, we now need to just modify it. Minus 1 divided by R. This is the formula for the amount of annuity. Now for inflation, we are still going back to this formula. So we must know this formula. You don't need to disturb yourself. Just know this formula. In as much as you know this formula, then there will not be any problem on arithmetic of finance that you will not be able to solve. Inflation. For inflation, we have this formula. We are still going to modify this formula for the inflation. That's for inflation. You have your final value is equal to initial value into bracket 1 plus R raised to power N. So whereby this R simply means rate of your inflation. That's it. You know, inflation is the increment. So whereby the number of years. That's the formula for inflation. Now, the same formula for depreciation. So the same formula for the depreciation. Now we have the same formula that if VF is equal to VI into bracket 1 minus R raised to power n, the same formula. Now, the formula for depreciation is this. That is, the final value is equal to initial value into bracket 1 minus r, because it's reducing. This is final value and this is initial value. You see, we are still modifying this formula. And the last but not the least is on profits and loss. Now, we are talking about the percentage profits and percentage loss. Now, for the percentage profits and loss, we can just simply say, look at this formula. The same formula. Selling price is equal to cost price into bracket 1 plus or minus r. So you have your plus if they are talking in terms of a percentage profit. They are being increment, that is profits, percentage profits. So you use plus. If you are talking about the percentage loss, you use this minus. So this all the formula that you need for any problem on arithmetic of finance. Now let's move on by solving some question that has to do with SX past question. Question 1, that is SSC WAEC 2018, number 16. The question reads, Bola sold an article for 6,900. That is selling price is equal to 6,900 naira. And make a profit of 15%. That is percentage profit is equal to 15%. The question now is calculate his percentage profit if he had sold it for 6,600. Now before that, you must find his selling price. Now percentage profit is 15%, whereby we are not given cost price. So before we proceed, we have to find the cost price, and from the modification of a compound interest formula. You know, I told you the formula of compound interest formula, amount of compound interest is equal to P into bracket 1 plus R raised to power n. Now, let's modify this as I've told you before. Your selling price is equal to cost price into bracket 1 plus or minus R. But now that we are talking in terms of a percentage profits, it's profits. So we use plus, not minus. So it should be selling price is equal to cost price into bracket 1 plus R. Whereby our R is percentage profit. That is R is equal to 15%, which is equal to 15 divided by 100. So that's what we give us 0.15. So our cost price that we are given is 6,900 is equal to cost price that we are looking for into bracket 1 plus 0.15. 6,900 is equal to cost price into bracket 1.15. Now we are looking for the cost price. Then we have to divide both sides by 1.15. So it should now be 6,900 divided by 1.15 is equal to cost price into bracket 1.15 divided by 1.15. So this one cancels this one. Our cost price is now be equal to 6,000. So this is not our final answer because the question already does calculate his percentage profit if he has sold it for 6,600. Now, having know our cost price, if he has sold it, that if sell price what to be 6,600. Now let's also go back to the formula. So we know that selling price is equal to cost price into bracket 1 plus R, because they are talking in terms of percentage profit. Assume that what they ask us, that what will calculate his percentage loss. If he has sold it, then this one will have been negative. But the question says that calculate his percentage profits. So definitely this one is plus. So we have, let's substitute 6,600 is equal to cost price is 6,000 into bracket 1 plus R. So divide both sides by 6,000. So we have 6,600 divided by 6,000 is equal to 6,000 into bracket 1 plus R divided by 6,000. So this one cancels this one. Now our 1 plus R is equal to, now by using the calculator, press the calculator, it will give us 1.1. So our R is equal to 1.1, subtract 1 from both sides. So it will be minus 1. So R is equal to 0.1. Now in terms of percentage, it will be 0.1% divided by multiply by 100%. So which is equal to 10%. That means that its profit, percentage profit will have been 10% if he has sold it for 6,600. That's the end of the first question. Now, question 2, that is SSC 2019. The question reads us: Eric sold his house through an agent who charged 8% commission on selling price. If Eric received $117,760 after sales, what was the selling price of the house? Now, might be thinking that this one has to do with selling price and cost price. No, this one has to do with either inflation and depreciation. Now, he sold his house at a particular price, which we don't know. So that means that the final value, we don't know the initial value. Our initial value, we don't know it. But he received, at the end of the day, after being given out 8% of the amount that he sold his house to the agent. So the person received 8%, and he received the final value, the money that he received at the end of the deal. He received $117,760. This was he received. So now let me ask you: is it a profit, or is it a depreciation or inflation? Thank you, depreciation, because he lost percentage loss. That is 8%. 8%, because the agent received 8%. So we have our R rate to be equal to 8 over 100, which is equal to 0.08. Now, having know that this is depreciation, so and for the depreciation, we have our final value to be equal to initial value into bracket 1 minus R. Now, raised to power n. But this one has nothing to do with CA. That is just a deal. Just within a deal, they finish. So you don't need to put any n, because even if you put n simply just a year, which is 1. So we have our final value, which is 117,760 is equal to initial value into bracket 1 minus 0.08. So 117,760 is equal to initial value into bracket. Now, if you subtract, so by making use of your calculator, we have 0.08. 0.92 is 0.92. So the next thing to do is to divide both sides by 0.92. So we have 117760 divided by 0.92 is equal to initial value into 0.92 divided by 0.92. So this one cancel this one. Now, by using your calculator, we have initial value to be equal to 117760 divided by 0.92. So which is equal to 128000. That is the amount that the agent sold the house. He sold the house at the price of $128,000. Now the question is, can we stop like that? Because we are talking in terms of money. So you can't stop like that because money has units, which is this, then decimal, that is 0.00. The question now is, if this one is not included, what will have happened? Then your final answer is not, you will not be given your mark, because this one, when you are working in terms of money amount, then you have to indicate either if you are talking in terms of naira, then you have to indicate kobo. Then if you are talking in terms of dollars, then you have to indicate whatever be its decimal. That is end of this question 2. In conclusion, let's recap a little bit. I told you initially that when we are talking of arithmetic, that is arithmetic of finance, simply means the mathematical application to the financial problem. Now, and one of the formula that's very important that just need to be manipulated to get any formula that has to do with arithmetic of finance is amount of compound interest, which is equal to P into bracket 1 plus R raised to power n. Please, if you know this formula, that means that there will not be any problem on arithmetic of finance that you will not be able to solve. You cannot see that mathematics is very simple.
You can subscribe to NTA series on YouTube to watch or download past episodes of revision classes on television. That's the much we can take on the program today. Do join us next time for another educating session.